That's a great way to start the show. Hit the wrong button, man. I
What
was,
was that?
I was trying to change the background and I accidentally hit the video right there. So I apologize for that.
That's funny. Good morning, Steven. How you doing, man?
Other than being a little loco, I'm doing okay. What about you?
Oh man, didn't get enough sleep, but that's every night. So is what it is. How's the weather down there in the Tuscaloosa area?
Really nice. As a matter of fact, we had a frost advisory, and this morning it was down to 45 degrees when I woke up.
We had a good bit of frost yesterday morning here in the Memphis area. So wow. Well, everyone that's tuning in, good morning. We're getting ready
Yes.
to start the show. We're getting ready. We're waiting on our guests. But Steven, you said you had a question for me. Well, it's a question for everyone in the audience too.
That is correct. All right, so Heath, today is November the 4th, and on the National Day of today, we've got one thing, and this one actually blows my mind because you would think that this would be on Halloween, but November the 4th is National Candy Day.
Oh wow, interesting. You know what? I got a feeling we're going to be talking more about candy. Hey, we're going over the A&M part of the show today, right?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah. So Missouri A&M matchup. The two they're no longer the two newest members.
that's correct.
Yeah. So we'll talk about. Gosh, how long have they been in the league now? Like 12 years,
2012.
13 years. Wow, wow.
All right, so Heath, with this being the National Candy Day, let's go on ahead and give everybody our fave five, which is our favorite top five candies of all time. And Heath and I usually, when we do this in the past, have different answers. Heath, I'll let you go first, and then I will do mine.
Wow. It's not like you for letting me go first. Usually you're stingy and you want to always go first.
No,
No. At number five, Junior Mints. Love me some Junior Mints. If I'm at the movie theater, I'm definitely getting Junior Mints with my popcorn. Love
yes,
Junior Mints. Four, Reese's Sticks. I like
mhm,
Reese's, but I like the sticks better, man. I love the Reese's Sticks. Chocolate and peanut butter. Number three, Snickers. Just the classic. Sometimes you just want that. But number two, peanut butter Twix. I love me some peanut butter Twix. Those things are so
mhm.
good. But number one, it's my go-to, man. If I'm road tripping, if I'm on the road a lot, I just need a quick snack or something to keep me awake or get me there. Go with the whatchamacallit. Love whatchamacallit.
All right, Heath, keep going because I made another error. I forgot to change the title of this show. Man, I'm all over the place right now. Keep going and
What?
I will change that and be right back.
Have fun with that. No. So everyone that's watching, feel free to check in. Tell us where you're from. We're going to go over the Missouri A&M matchup, and I'm sure we got a good friend Owen joining us. But we got a question for everybody after the show. What Halloween movie did you not get to see this past season? Is there a scary movie that you always like watching? Is it, do you go through all the Michael Myers movies, the Halloween franchise? Is it Nightmare on Elm Street? Do you like good jump scare movies? Is it Scream? Is it Friday the 13th? What is it? What movie did you not get to see that you wanted to see? So tell us. We're going to ask it after the show, but you can tell us. But right now, let's know where you're from. Check in with us so we can say hello. So, Steven, you got everything mapped out and figured out?
I believe I do.
There you go. All right. We got to update our logo a little bit. Well, maybe we can work on that here as the coaching carousel continues. I refuse to look at any coaching rumors right now because I think it's just all garbage until like the third, fourth week of November.
Yes.
Most of them will be garbage the third week of November. I want to wait to the fourth week. So I am purposely. I'm watching it. I'm laughing at everything that's being said because I don't believe any of it's true. But yeah.
Okay, let's go with my fave 5, okay?
All right, what you got?
At number 5, I'm going to go with Skittles. It doesn't matter what flavor, I just like Skittles. At number 4, I'm going with your not favorite, Butterfinger.
Oh, I can't stand Butterfingers.
You said you didn't like it. I've got to put them in my top 5. At number 3, Crunch. Whether it be Bunch of Crunch or just the regular Crunch, I love them. At number 2, I'm going with M&M's regular or the peanut butter kind. And at number 1, Heath, I'm going to try to say this correctly because you and I had a funny clip a couple of years ago. Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, is that Reese's Pieces?
Right.
Yeah, Reese's Pieces. It blows my mind that people call it Reese's. It is not Reese's. You have said it wrong your entire life. Just admit it.
Yeah.
Look in the mirror and said you said it wrong and move on with your life. Reese's, not Reese's.
Reese's.
If you say Reese's, everyone laughs behind your back and makes fun of you.
Yeah.
They do. So
yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Wow.
So Heath,
so I'm kind of solid with your list. I like Bunch of Crunch. That's wonderful. M&M's. But I noticed that you said plain and peanut butter. Do you like the peanut at all?
I don't. No.
Wow. Usually the peanut is my go-to, but I like all 3 of them. I don't like the caramel, whatever, and the coffee. I don't like those. The pretzel. No. I'll skip it out on those.
Heath, now that we've got everything kinked out and the kinks worked out, are you ready to start the Stingray Show officially?
Brother, I've been waiting. I got lots to do today, man. Let's get rolling.
All right, so here we go, my friend. We all enjoy the changing of the seasons. Fall is a special time to be thankful for our families and many blessings. It is also a great time, though, to review your insurance coverages. Alpha Insurance and hometown agent Jeff Nee can help you personalize your insurance needs. The more you protect, the more you save. With helpful customer service teams right here to serve you in Alabama and over in Mississippi, you can count on Alpha to provide the insurance plan that provides the protection that you need. For all your auto, home, life, and business insurance needs, call Alpha agent Jeff Nee or drop by his office at 202 McFarland Boulevard East, Suite 101 in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And remember, with Jeff Nee, the more you protect, the more you save. This is the Stingray Show, and coming up on this edition, we're going to be discussing number 3 Texas A&M versus number 19 Missouri, as we are going to be joined by Brendan of the Mazodcast to talk about this game from the incredibly banged up Missouri Tigers, and then our friend from Texags Radio, Olin Buchanan, will join us to talk about this game from the undefeated and number 3 ranked Aggies. That is all ahead on this edition of the Stingray Show with a preview of MIZ-ZOU versus the Gig'em Aggies right now.
Hi, this is Tim Brando with a reminder. Look out, you're about to feel the buzz of Stingray.
This is Stephen Ray, a.k.a. Stingray, coming to you live from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
I'm Heath Hopkins. I'm here in DeSoto County, Mississippi, right outside of Memphis, Tennessee.
You know, Mark, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you feel that responsibility to pay it forward and give some kid a chance coming up in the ranks, kind of like Tony did for you?
Why do you think I'm talking to Stingray tonight?
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
No, I mean, look, no.
Heath, Stingray, here's the deal. When you get involved with Texas, it's like getting married to a stripper. and let me explain this. It looks good. It's kind of sexy on the surface. Yeah. But then you get the baggage. You get the drama. You get all that eventually comes with it. And that's what you get with Texas, and that's what the Big 12 learned.
And Heath, any thoughts on our show moving forward?
Hey, with the Stingray Show, if you don't like it, you better learn to love it, because it's the best show going today, baby. Woo!
And with that, I want to welcome you guys inside another edition of the Stingray Show. And Heath, we have a huge matchup this weekend, and it is the game of the week here in the SEC, and that is Missouri versus the Texas A&M Aggies. And needless to say, Heath, Missouri is coming into this game incredibly banged up, even though they are coming in off of a bye week. They are unfortunately on their third string quarterback.
Yeah, there's a lot of games in the SEC this week that they're not the greatest matchups. I mean, Auburn and Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Is Auburn going to rebound? Of course, you got A&M and Missouri. You got Georgia and State. Ole Miss is out of conference with the Citadel. Bama and LSU. Isn't it crazy that this is Bama LSU week and not a soul is talking about it or even cares? Like it's non-existent basically. Florida and Kentucky might be the best game of the week. So I mean that's basically it for the SEC. Everybody else has got an off week.
And speaking of Kentucky and Florida, we will discuss that game tomorrow.
Yeah, and I might be watching that game a little bit in detail. I might clear my calendar for that one. So, but yeah, it's crazy. We're at this time of year, but we've said it all this week. We've said it toward the last part of October. The games in November are the ones you remember. And
all right.
This is where it's going to happen. This is where if you have just a fall down, fall apart, where you don't expect, let's just say Bama falls apart against LSU. I don't expect that. I don't expect that at all. But what if they just go out there and lay an egg and LSU steals one? I mean, how's that going to change the playoff picture?
Yeah.
I mean, what if Ole Miss goes to overtime with the Citadel and wins? Now a lot of people are like, man, they won, but they went to overtime. I mean, it's just the crazy time of year where things happen and you eliminate yourself.
And Heath, the craziest thing that happened this past weekend on November the 1st, Kentucky digging down and finding a way to win on the road at Auburn like they have tried to do and done in the past of just sloppy, nasty, dirty, hit you in the mouth football. So Kentucky started it out. The games that in November that you remember, they did it in an impressive fashion, to say the least. There on the plains at Auburn, and it ultimately got Hugh Freeze canned.
Yeah, and let's reverse it. Let's talk about teams that are trying to get back into the playoff picture. Take Texas, for example. Yeah. Texas kind of did that last week. Missouri, on a third-string true freshman quarterback, is going to try to do it this week. If they can find a way to beat A&M, that's going to change the playoff picture tremendously for a lot of people. I mean, we're just at the time of year. Oklahoma last week doing it to Tennessee. I mean, the games in November are the ones that you remember.
Yes.
So it's huge for playoff implications. It's for conference ranking, the better bowl, whatever you got. Hey, whatever it is. And hey, Kay, we got you. We love you too.
Yes. Thank you for that comment. And if you guys would also like to chime in on Facebook, Twitter, or over on YouTube, we will put your comments up on the show as they come in. So, Heath, let's go on ahead and talk about this game from the Missouri perspective. And I think we should be honest with people. Brendan could not join us live this morning. So last night we pre-recorded the interview with Missouri. So right now I'm about to link up the interview that we did with Brendan talking about Missouri. We will let that play, and then we will come back and immediately live talk about Texas A&M with Olin Buchanan. So right now, here is our interview that we conducted with Brendan from the Mazodcast talking about the Missouri football team.
Hey, Steven, before you hit play, for everyone, we're going to have a little post-game fun or post-show fun. We're going to be talking about the favorite Halloween movie you didn't get to see this year. So be thinking about that. We want to have some interaction with you guys. And, yeah, we'll answer all your SEC questions, too. Steven, hit play, brother.
So, Heath, it is time to dive into the highly anticipated matchup and arguably the game of this weekend. That is Missouri and Texas A&M. And the series history between the two, Texas A&M has a 3-game lead, 10 wins to 7 over Missouri. Briefly, your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, I'm worried about Missouri just because so many injuries, man. I mean, they're
Yes.
on their third quarterback, a true freshman. That's never good. It's never good to have a true freshman. It's never good to be on your third quarterback. But that's where Missouri is. And Eli Drinkwitz, he works miracles as it is. So I look forward to seeing what he's got. They're coming off an bye week. So during the off week, I'm sure they have worked on a million things.
Yes.
So looking forward to what they script up for A&M. Drinkwitz can expose things, but injuries, man, I'm worried about it.
So let's go ahead and start and dive into this matchup with the Missouri Tigers first. They are the home team, and they welcome in an unbeaten overall and in the SEC, the number 3 team overall, Texas A&M. And to talk about the Missouri Tigers, here is Brendan from the Mazodcast. Brendan, how are things with you in Columbia, Missouri?
Things are good up here. We don't know what to expect either. It's been a wild couple of weeks for us, but the season rolls on. What are you going to do?
Brendan, let's talk about the Mizzou D-line real quick. Super highly impressed with that D-line.
Mm-hmm.
They will get after you. Just impressed with that front seven of Missouri. Talk about that defense, because if there's anything that can be exposed, I think Eli Drinkwitz and his staff will do that. And that, to me, people have been able to expose A&M. They've won in shootouts. They've won in close games. They've won running the ball. They've run passing the ball. They've won with defense and special teams. This A&M team has won every which way you can win. So with that, let's talk about the front seven of Missouri, because they give everyone headaches and problems. What do you think they bring to the table?
So, yeah, they've kept Missouri in a lot of games. The 3-game stretch that they've had that have been close in SEC play, starting with Alabama, then Auburn, and then Vanderbilt 2 weeks ago. Missouri's offense has just been dead in the water, and they would have been blown out in all those games had it not been for that defense you mentioned, particularly the defensive line. I think a standout would be Zion Young, who made one of the most crucial errors in the Alabama game with a just completely boneheaded penalty where he taunted a player on the ground, ended up extending an Alabama drive, ended up being very consequential in that game. However, he's just been an absolute beast. He was the reason we beat Auburn in overtime. He made a lot of viral moments, kind of going wild in the coin toss going into overtime, and then just absolutely turned it on and got to the quarterback in Auburn. He's continued that at Vanderbilt. They basically mitigated anything that Diego Pavia was able to do at Vanderbilt, like nobody else has been able to do to some degree. I mean, Pavia was a non-factor in that game, and it was because of that defensive line play. They've been really strong. They've gelled as the season has gone on, and they've really helped gloss over some question marks in the secondary. I mean, if Missouri can be exposed on defense, it's blown coverage in the secondary. They've given up some long chunk plays based on, just safeties being out of place or, going to the wrong spot in zone coverage. And when you're putting pressure on a lot and you're blitzing a lot and your guys are getting home a lot, that secondary has room to make some mistakes. And so I think you're going to see a lot of pressure on A&M just because that's what's been working for Missouri. They've been playing a little bit more man because the zone has not been working out real well. But Texas A&M, like I said, they've been a chameleon. Whatever you give at them, they find some other way to be effective. So we will see what happens. But the defense is stout.
All right, let's go on ahead and talk about the elephant in the room right now. Auburn, LSU, Arkansas, Florida, and Penn State are all open right now. And Eli Drinkowitz's name is linked and being thrown out there for some jobs. How concerned are you that Eli Drinkowitz could leave Columbia, Missouri for another head coaching job?
Yeah, I don't think any Missouri fan wants to see Eli Drinkwitz go, but I will also know at a Missouri program that has success, that's going to be some of the price of success is your coach is going to become a commodity for a bigger fish to scoop them up. And so, but I'll tell you this, as a Missouri fan, the Eli Drinkwitz era, while successful, can be frustrating at times. And, I think people say, oh, you don't want Eli because he's he can be a bit of a peckerwood, and he can just be annoying and a nerd, and he just taunts people unnecessarily. That doesn't bother you if your team's winning. You know what I mean? That can be endearing. What's annoying is the inconsistent offensive play, the rotating, revolving door of coordinators, and doing incredible things in the NIL and the transfer portal and getting players at a caliber Missouri's not used to seeing, and then not having a quarterback being able to utilize them, and seeing Luther Burden not getting the ball, and then seeing Ahmad Hardy not being utilized, and just like what's going on the field. It's the in-game strategy that makes you want to pull your hair out. And so there's always going to be a small part of me. This is what's next. But that being said, Drinkwitz has got the train on the tracks here, and he's been very successful for Missouri. So I think there is a chance that he could go somewhere else. I don't think he has any reason why he wouldn't explore another option. I think some folks are like, well, but you don't want to go to a place like LSU or Florida where they're just going to churn you out in 2 or 3 years and you'll be out of a job. And I'm thinking the best job in all of the United States is to be a former SEC football coach. I mean, the buyouts are insane. These golden parachutes that these guys are getting. Please fire me as an SEC coach. Just give me a chance to be a former coach in the SEC. It's a dream.
Just curious, what is the buyout for Drinkowitz there at Missouri?
Oh man, you caught me off guard. I can't even tell you. Okay. I mean, it's not going to be an LSU. You're not going to talk about a $50 million Brian Kelly buyout, but certainly it's not going to be chump change either. But I don't know off the top of my head.
Gotcha.
Brendan, I will ask you this. I think the absolute worst thing that could happen to any SEC team or any Division I team here during this coaching carousel season is simply this, that you lose your head coach to another job. And I think that's going to catch a lot of schools flat-footed, or some schools knowing that it's happening and might be coming into play. But, the worst thing that could happen is, hey, we took your coach and now the coaching carousel is already kind of going and you guys are getting a late start, and then players start transferring and the portal explodes and everything else. I know this much. Whoever has a good season, finishes strong in the SEC, has a strong November, they're going to rack up in the portal this year with the huge floodgates opening. out of Baton Rouge, out of Auburn, out of Gainesville, out of Fayetteville. There's going to be so much talent that SEC schools are going to be snatching up right and left. So if you're able to keep your coach, man, it's going to pay off for next year. It is going to pay off huge dividends. But your thoughts, if Missouri does have to make a coaching hire, because, let's face it, Drinkwitz is a very popular guy and he's a very excellent coach. Have you heard anything that they're preparing? They're getting ready? Are we about to throw the bank at Drinkwitz to keep him here? What are you hearing about all of that?
Well, certainly nobody's talking about what's next yet. I don't think anybody wants to operate under the assumption that Drinkwitz is going anywhere. The talk in Columbia has been, yes, they're going to throw the bank at him. Whatever they got, they gave him an extension last year. They're willing to do it again. That is no doubt about it. He was really brought in by this board of curators. The last athletic director, Jim Sturk, was in charge of that coaching hire when Drinkwitz was brought on. He was not Sturk's original choice. The board of curators didn't like the options that Sturk had brought about and basically hand-selected Drinkwitz, which was the telltale end of Jim Sturk's career as athletic director. He couldn't even pick his own football coach. But it's worked out incredibly well as a choice. So this board of curators has skin in the game with Drinkwitz. They want to keep him. They're going to do everything they can. But the problem is there's a lot of other things. We're not the only ones that have money, and we don't have the prestige of some of these other programs. But like you said, yes, it is going to be a real drag on your program if you lose a coach, and particularly lose them late. But at the same time, a quarter of the SEC coaches are already gone right now, and the carousel is going to be wild. And it's just going to be like everybody in the entire conference and in the country has free agency. So no team that we see this year is going to look like next year. So you can't play what ifs yet because there's too many variables.
So let's go on ahead and talk about the matchup with Texas A&M. And you guys, along with Texas A&M, came into the league together. Talk about some of this series history with A&M, and especially with y'all back in the Big 12, please.
Yeah, so you look at the head-to-head schedule, and I think you said A&M leads us by 3, but it's not. I think SEC. I think when Missouri and Texas A&M came into the conference, they came under very different circumstances. I think the red carpet was rolled out for Texas A&M. They liked their geography, they liked their culture, they liked their traditions. Missouri, they didn't know anything about. They just knew that they didn't have the same football culture, and they didn't even like Missouri being part of the conference. And Missouri took exception to that, particularly the fact that Missouri had recent success quite a bit against A&M. In fact, they used to call Kyle Field Faroe Field West because we were beating them in Texas A&M at College Station a lot. And in fact, even as we entered the SEC days, 2013, when we went to Atlanta for the SEC championship game, the game that got us there was against Texas A&M, the finals conference game of the season, where we basically took out Johnny Manziel, who was the big talk of the conference that year. We sacked him and took him out and beat Texas A&M, took us to Atlanta. We're not intimidated by Texas A&M. That much is true. However, this is probably the best Texas A&M team that I've seen, certainly since they've been in the SEC, and probably a long time since they've been in the Big 12. This is a very good Texas A&M team that a lot of coaches who are more notable than Mike Elko were not able to produce.
Right. So, when you look at the matchup, what concerns you the most if you are a Missouri fan that A&M can take advantage of Missouri?
Third string freshman quarterback, it's hard to say anything that's not that, you know what I mean? Look, Missouri's had incredible bad luck over the last 100 years, but in this season particularly. There was a quarterback battle going into the season. Sam Horn, who was brought into this program as a freshman in Georgia, stuck with him, had a baseball injury the year before, comes back healthy, and this is his chance to shine. He gets hurt on the first play from scrimmage that he's in the game
Yes.
in game 1, and he's out for the season. Bo Pribula comes in, looks pretty good against non-conference competition, but then really shows himself to maybe not be it when we get up into real SEC play. I'm not counting South Carolina because it didn't even look like real SEC play. But anyway, then you got Matt Zollers, freshman kid, highly touted, 4-star player. I think the most damning thing to Bo Pribula is that when he came out, there was no drop-off in the Vanderbilt game. In fact, the offense moved better under this Zollers kid, but you can't count on that. Freshman quarterback's going to make a lot of mistakes. He knows the offense well. He's been with it from the get-go. He's got a better arm than Pribula, no question. He seemed cooler under the pocket, but I think Vanderbilt kind of changed their defensive strategy. I expect Texas A&M to put a lot of pocket pressure on him. Missouri's offensive line has not been good, more so on the run blocking, but even at holding the pocket together, it's not been very good. So they're going to put a lot of pressure on him, knowing that he's an inexperienced quarterback. But that being said, if he can get the ball away, he's got a really good arm, and he's got good receivers that have been underutilized this year. He could have some success, but it's a big question mark for sure.
Brendan, let's stay with the quarterback here. There's a reason Eli Drinkwitz recruited this kid. There's a reason that he wanted him. What are the strengths that he has? And what do we know? Was he early enrollee? Did he get to play some in the spring? So he's 2 semesters into this. Where is he at in his development? And why did Eli Drinkwitz go after this guy?
Yes, they brought him on early, came early. He got hurt his senior year of high school and Missouri stuck with him, and he stuck with Missouri. Unlike Bo Pribula or Sam Horn, he's more traditional pocket passer. He's got a great arm. He's a tall, good-looking kid. I mean, he's got the measurables that you like to see in a quarterback, more so than the more experienced quarterbacks who have been getting play before him. Really the only knock on him is his inexperience. He's going to. I think Missouri is going to try to get back to the running game. That Ahmad Hardy is a beast, and he's been frankly underutilized. And I think it's been coaching malpractice by offensive coordinator Kirby Moore, the way he's underutilized Ahmad Hardy. I mean, that teams know what Missouri is, and they know that they've got a strong running game, and they've been loading the box. And Kirby Moore doesn't seem to understand that you run screen passes. There's ways to get around that. We've mitigated what our strength is. But that being said, when we've got a freshman quarterback in, we've got to go back to the run, and we've got to go back to the strength of this team. And so you're going to see a lot of handoffs, my guess, from Matt Zollers. But one thing Missouri hasn't attempted much and may do more in this game, since really the pressure's off. They're not looking at a playoff berth. Not expected. I think they're expected to lose by 7 in this game at home. They're may try to take the top off because they got a kid who can throw it. And if he can connect, you never know what will happen. But Missouri has not shown a lot of interest in throwing deep to this point, but it may just be because they had a kid who wasn't really capable of getting the ball there. They do have one in Zollers, but I mean, he can also throw some INTs. He can also take some unnecessary sacks. He's a freshman. You know what I mean? And freshman quarterbacks in the SEC do freshman things. Expect to see that.
Yeah.
Where do you feel like that Missouri can take advantage of Texas A&M?
I think that, the Texas A&M obviously does not have a lot of weaknesses. They're number 3 in the country and 8-0 for a reason. However, I think their defensive line isn't deep, and that if Missouri can block better up front and get Ahmad Hardy some holes and open up that run game and not get down early. That's been a big problem the last 3 weeks, is they get down early and have to get away from that running game. If they can stay in this thing and get the running game open, it's going to give Matt Zoller some breathing room to expand what this offense is capable of and maybe try to do some things they haven't been doing. But they've been anemic the last 3 weeks, and it's been tough to watch, even in the win against Auburn. It was a joyless win. I mean, it was a tough one to watch. So, but sometimes you get a freshman quarterback and the pressure's off and things get looser. I don't know. We'll see. But definitely, I think exposing the defensive line, Texas A&M is going to where we're going to try to make some hay.
Brendan, we hear about the freshman quarterback, the true freshman quarterback and everything. If Missouri wins the toss, are they taking the ball or are they deferring second half?
I mean, the standard practice these days is always to defer. So you'd think they'd do that, but Drinkwitz likes to defy convention. But I'll tell you what, once the teams get onto the field, what Drinkwitz is going to do is you never know. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's any rhyme or reason to certainly like the way he uses timeouts, the way he decides to go for it or not go for it on fourth down. It just seems like he's flipping a coin sometimes. So I think he's probably going to defer given the fact that he's as unsure about this offense as the rest of us.
Gotcha.
Brendan, if Missouri is going to pull the upset over number 3 Texas A&M, who are a couple of X factors, one on offense and then one on defense, that has to step up if Missouri is going to do it?
Obviously, we talked about the quarterback play, but the receivers he's going to need to find. I'm going to give you two of them. Kevin Coleman, who's been a fantastic pickup for Mississippi State. He's been Mr. Third Down for Missouri. Anytime we've gotten a long third down situation, it's almost always Kevin Coleman. The other one is freshman receiver Alubade, which is tough to spit out, but he's just shown himself to be an incredible ball catcher. Long arms, just like his catch radius is insane. Great hands. He always seems to find himself open in tight windows. And if Matt Zollers can zip it to him, he'll catch it. So if the receivers are getting open, particularly those two, they'll make plays. Defensively, I mentioned Zion Young. Josiah Trotter's another one on that line that has been really good and really shown himself to be a talent. And so I think those two, they get to the quarterback, and they're going to make a difference. In the secondary, there's an experienced corner, Marvin Burks Jr., who's kind of given us fits in the past because he's one of those guys that'll get out of position and give up long yards. But if he can lead that secondary and maybe get a takeaway or two, they're going to need that, right? They're going to have to get those sort of 50-50 balls or those turnover takeaways. Anytime you're an underdog, you've got to lean on a little luck going your way. So if he can make something happen in the secondary, I think that's
Okay. So, Heath, it is time to dive into
secondary. I think that's and I'll just think to myself, if I wasn't a Missouri fan and I'm seeing that line where Missouri's +7 at home, what would I do? And frankly, I feel like I'd take Texas giving up the 7 points. I think I could easily see this being a 2-touchdown win by the Aggies. I don't want to see that, but I fear for it, given the state of the program right now. With, like you said, just the injuries have been brutal injuries, including the kicker. That's just been devastating to us. So, the kicker. You think the kicker has been a huge blow to this team. It's the way we've called our offense has been because one, college kid decided to try to make a boneheaded tackle on the first game of the year, and now he's out for the season, and we got an untested freshman who just blew a kick against Vanderbilt. So, I mean, that and being on our third string on QB, I wouldn't be surprised to see Texas A&M win this by 2 scores.
Wow. Brendan, one thing I wanted to ask you, and you kind of touched on it right there. Where's the fan base at right now with this team? Is it one of those things like, oh man, we just lost and we've lost our quarterback, and like, have they checked out? Are the games going to be highly attended as we wrap up the season? Or expecting 80% crowds, 50% crowds? I know it's crazy the world that we live in now. It's playoff or bust, and like we're done, we're out. I'm not showing up anymore. I'm not wasting my time, my money, my energy. I'm going to go do something else. Where is the Mizzou fan base right now?
So I think, you're going to see a sellout against Texas A&M. It's going to be a full house. And I think it's the final home game for us. We had 6 straight home games to start the season. Nobody's given up on Drinkwitz, or frankly, even this team. I mean, it was a gut punch loss, especially like catching the ball on a Hail Mary 6 inches from the goal line is a terrible way to lose. And frankly, I think I probably speak for a lot of the fan base where it's like, I'm not giving up on the team, not giving up on the program, and I'm not checked out. But I do want to see Kirby Moore shipped out of town, and he's a terrible play caller. I mean, he's just an asinine play caller. I can't I haven't even mentioned this, but I can't stress enough how bitter I am about offensive coordinator Kirby Moore, who's terrible at his job. And I'll say it this way: Luther Burden Jr., by far the best player on Missouri's offense and team last year, maybe one of the best players in a decade for the University of Missouri. Long stretches of the season, he didn't get the ball. There were no plays run to him to get the ball. Last 2 weeks ago against Vanderbilt and against Auburn, we'd have 3rd goal, 4th and goal from the 1 situations. We have one of the better running backs in the country who's known for dragging a 1-yard run into a 5-yard run, and he'd be sitting on the sidelines in those situations. And it's just like unfathomable, terrible play calling. Just like, and it's not even, you can't even say that he's trying to have a deception play, like misleading the guys thinking they're going to have a Matt Hardy run when he's sitting on the sidelines. That's not deception. That's just foolhardy, terrible coaching. So there's some bitterness, but it's not a giving up on the team. But I have given up on Kirby Moore. I'd like to see him run out on a rail.
Brendan, if memory serves me correctly, I believe in a couple of weeks, Mississippi State travels to Missouri. So that will probably be the last home game.
That's right. There you go. I forgot we had 8 this year, right? Yeah. And that's a scary one too. I mean, I think Mississippi State finally got a win against Arkansas. They've done everything they can to lose games, but Texas and to Florida. I mean, but they're a scarier team than they look like on paper. And with this Missouri team struggling offensively and suffering from injuries, I don't think you can count anybody out on the SEC schedule for the Tigers. But yeah,
how Texas A&M can find a way to win no matter what, offense, defense, special teams, whatever. Mississippi State can find a way to lose offense, defense, special teams. I mean, whether it be, my gosh, the Tennessee game, the Texas game, or the Florida game, you can pick. And even the Arkansas game, it was like both teams didn't want to win for a while there.
Yeah, so my father-in-law is a Mississippi State graduate, and I was down there a couple of weeks ago. We watched the Texas game with him when they were up 17 points, and I was on the phone with him when they were there. All they really had to do was run one more running play and kick a field goal to beat Florida. And I told him, I predicted for the game, I said, Mississippi State's going to beat Florida, And then when we watched Texas just give the game back to Texas, I said, can you believe this? And he looked at me and he goes, this seems unbelievable to you. You think this hurts me? I've been watching Mississippi State for 55 years.
Oh yeah.
You can't hurt me. This is what watching Mississippi State is. So like my emotions are impacted by nothing. I would be surprised if the outcome was different. But yeah, yes, they are the polar opposite of A&M. Instead of finding ways to win, they are creating new, creative ways to lose. Sadly, but they got talent. It's sad.
Yeah, the silver-haired dogs of Starkville.
Yeah.
The old people of Starkville, they have seen some brutal things in their lifetime
Yeah.
on the football field. So, yeah, this doesn't shock them. It doesn't.
No.
So, Brendan, before we let you go, please let everybody know about the Mazodcast, where they can find it, please.
Yeah, thank you. Mazodcast, we're available anywhere you can get your podcasts. We're on YouTube as well. If you want to watch our handsome faces bemoan the Tigers and the direction of the season. Yeah, look us up. It's fun if you're interested because we get a lot of the more insane callers calling in, especially when things aren't going great. The shows actually tend to get a little better. So there's the glass half full.
So, Brendan, look, man, as always, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join us. Go and enjoy covering A&M and Missouri this weekend, and we will catch up with you later on. And I will leave you with this, my friend, M-I-Z.
ZOU. Thank you, fellas.
Let's go, man.
Be good, Brendan.
You too, boys.
All right, so Heath, that is going to wrap up the Missouri side of this matchup. I really do want to thank Brendan for joining us, and when we come back right after this, we're going to be transitioning to the A&M side as Olin Buchanan is on deck to join us. And guys, we will be right back right here on the Stingray Show right after this. I am representing a clothing company right here in Tuscaloosa that is called J&J Apparel. If you like the Mississippi State shirt that I have on, you can find all of their Mississippi State apparel as well as Auburn, Alabama, and Ole Miss at jnjapparel.com. They are located right here in Tuscaloosa, but they also have other merchandise for other SEC schools as well. So once again, if you do like this polo that I've got on and the Walking Bulldog, go to jnjapparel.com and get all of your SEC merch right there for Ole Miss, Alabama, Auburn, and Mississippi State with J&J Apparel. And we're back live, Heath. And really do want to thank Brendan there for joining us to talk all about the Missouri Tigers. And definitely they come in really banged up. Turn the mic on.
And for everyone watching and listening, we always try to do our shows live. Last night, Brendan needed to do it late, so that's when we recorded. But every time you see us, majority of the time, we are live.
Yes.
But, Steven, what did you get to do during the break? Because I did some laundry.
I actually watched and made sure that everything went smoothly on this end because I am the producer behind the scenes, so I could not leave.
There you go. I did some laundry. I answered some texts. I did some business calls. I got some things knocked out. So let's move on with the show. And, hey, at the end of the show, we're going to have a little post fun. We want to interact with you guys. And I'm going to be thinking about it. Halloween movies. Which ones did you not get to see that you wanted to see during this season? We'll talk about that here after the show. But, Steven, let's move on, brother. I got something in my eye. I don't know what's going on with that.
That's not good, man. Go watch
the radio show. We didn't get to have this much fun. We didn't get to cut loose. And, we love doing the radio show. But, we don't get to interact with you guys. That's the best part about this.
That's
so
right.
Feel free to add your comments anytime. Tell us that we're wrong. My wife tells me I'm wrong every day, brother.
Hey, that's correct. So, Heath, let's go on ahead and transition now and talk about the Texas A&M Aggies. And they have really impressed and exceeded expectations of everybody this season as they are number 3 in the country in the AP poll. And oh, by the way, the first playoff rankings happened tonight, and they could potentially be the number one overall team. It may be Ohio State, but I would argue A&M has the stronger strength of schedule.
I started saying it after week 3, Stephen. After I watched A&M play multiple times, that Notre Dame win, I said A&M is the best team in the SEC right now, and they only got stronger. A lot of people disagreed with me. A lot of people said I was wrong, and I'm okay with that. But I still feel that way. A&M is the best team. I hate to say it, Stephen, because we know what A&M does. And I'm kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
I mean, Olin Buchanan, great friend of the show. Olin always says it. A&M puts no in November.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but this A&M team just seems different this year.
They do.
They started out red, smoking hot last year, and they fell apart. We saw this under Sumlin. We saw this under Jimbo. We've seen this a million times under a million coaches at A&M. They start off, and then come November, they're just non-existent anymore. So I'm not going to lie. I'm waiting for that other shoe to drop on A&M. But if you ask me who the best team in the SEC is and has been, it's A&M, and it's not even a question.
All right. So, Heath, let's go on ahead and talk about the A&M Aggies who play their first November game this weekend at Missouri, and we're going to find out soon enough if they are going to continue the streak of no in November or if they can break that. To talk about the Texas A&M Aggies, here is well-known Tex Ags reporter and our good friend who we have on the show quite often and usually every week here on the show, Mr. Olin Buchanan, who is also a movie star who starred in the movie Varsity Blues. Olin, how are things with you in College Station,
He looks like a movie star.
Yeah, I think thank you. I appreciate it. You're overhyping me somewhat. You're overhyping me like, Texas was overhyped at the beginning of the football season. I'm not a star. I'm not even a quasar. I'm not even a star-like substance. But thanks a lot. I appreciate the good words.
Yes.
And for the folks that are new, I have a running joke with Olin. Olin, how's that mailbox money coming in from Hollywood? What's the check up to these days?
I told you, man, they're always 4 figures. It's just that there's a decimal point involved. I hear it's on a different streaming service this quarter, so maybe that's going to give me a boost, right? And maybe the next one will be up to $20. But you can't count, those California state income taxes kill you.
Oh, I bet they will.
So, Olin, what did you do during the bye week to get ready for this incredible stretch that A&M is on and moving towards the playoffs and the SEC championship?
I didn't do much. I had this great idea, a great plan. I was going to drive the 3 hours east to Lake Charles, Louisiana, because we don't have casino gambling in Texas, which I don't understand. If you go to any place in Oklahoma or any casino in Oklahoma or Louisiana, the Texas license plates outnumber anybody else 10-1. So we're sending all that tax money, but that's another story. Anyway, so that was the plan. Well, then the wife got hurt at work. She hurt her back, and I ended up having to take her to an emergency care facility to get her back looked at on Saturday. And we got back and they gave her some drugs, everything, and she got in bed. And she said, "Well, I know you want to go to Lake Charles, so why don't you go ahead and go? I'll be fine." Now, if that's not a loaded offer, where that's coming back to haunt you, right?
You took the painkillers with you, right?
So so I stayed, and then to make it worse, I have YouTube TV. So I couldn't watch Texas and Vanderbilt. I couldn't watch, not at home anyway. I ended up going up to Walk-Ons where they had it and sat there and spent, $50 that I didn't need to spend on food that I don't need to eat just to watch that game. And then the way that came out, I couldn't
Yes.
watch Tennessee and Oklahoma. I couldn't watch the games I wanted to watch. So the weekend pretty much sucked. So I hope it was still better than my wife's weekend, of course, but it could have been worse if I had gone, because then I would have gone all the way over there, lost money, and then would have come back to my wife's scorn.
Right. And you took her
so-
painkillers with you.
I needed to have some pain killed after that Texas Vanderbilt game. So the answer is I didn't do anything, and I hope that is not an omen for the way November is going to go here.
All right, and Olin, when we get to the Texas A&M Aggies, what do you feel like that this football team really needed to work on in the bye week as they push towards the back half of this season?
I think you just look at the opponent that's next, which is Missouri, and that's a big win. I mean, if you got that, you don't want to take any win for granted, but if you can get by Missouri, you're 9-0 with a struggling South Carolina coming to town, and then Samford. You got to feel pretty good with the prospects of 11-0 if you can if you can win in Missouri. I mean, you still have work to do, but you feel good about it, and then that should get you into definitely the playoff, and maybe even into the to the SEC championship game, no matter what happens in Austin, right?
Yes.
And by the way, I expect them to win in Austin too. But so I would think really work to fine tune your run defense, which has been pretty good. Nobody, with the exception of Arkansas, with the exception of Taylon Green, was running consistently on A&M all year. Even Notre Dame, for Notre Dame, I thought they actually played decent run defense, because if you hold Notre Dame to 100, and I think it was it was 136 yards rushing, I think it's pretty good against Notre Dame.
Yes.
Now Taylon Green was scrambling all over the place, and so I think you want to find out what you can about Matthew Zollers, and if he's a runner, try to figure out what you have to do to make sure that he never runs the way, and maybe nobody runs like Taylon Green, but make sure that never happens to you again. So I think you just you spent the week really concentrating on what do you have to do to be able to beat Missouri, because it's a huge game.
Yes.
I'm going to go over the schedule real quick this season, because you've mentioned it on the show. You've educated us about it. A&M, the fan base just waits for the other shoe to drop. And we've seen them get hot over the years to start the season. They fizzle out. You've made the joke many times, A&M puts snow in November. But this season, it's like you're getting all the breaks. You started the season with UTSA and Utah State, those two non-conference games. Then you were at Notre Dame, that beautiful win there. Then you had the off week. And I thought, man, that's so early for an off week for A&M. That could come back to bite them. You catch a down Auburn. You catch Mississippi State, who you've had problems with over the years. They played you a tough first half, but you squashed them in the second half. Florida, I knew was going to sneak up and get somebody, because there's too much talent on that team. It wasn't you guys. It was the Longhorns they got. Arkansas is falling apart. LSU is a disaster.
Yeah.
And then you're coming off the off week now. Now you're at Missouri with the third-string wounded quarterback. You got South Carolina, who can be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But
Ask Alabama.
They're not a complete team, but you catch them at home.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can step out of non-conference with Samford, and then you're at Texas. So this is really shaping up to be a tremendous year. You said in preseason, I remember your words, the talent's there to have a 10-win team, a double-digit win team. That you were spot on with that.
Yep.
But it looks like you shorted yourself. It looks like it's going to be above that.
Well, hopefully, look, A&M keeps exercising demons, and we talked about they had not won a road game against a ranked non-conference opponent since 1979. They did that at Notre Dame. They hadn't won in Baton Rouge since 1994.
Yep.
Did that. And now they got the biggest demon of all. They got the freaking devil that is November. looking at
Yeah.
them. And so, if they can get that under control and have a winning record in November, then yeah. Elko's different, I think. The fans here are now called Elkoholics because everybody is intoxicated with winning that's going on here. But you know, if you're trying not to fall off the wagon, right? Then you don't go into the bar.
There you go.
Well, November is the biggest bar, and the drinks are free when it comes to A&M, right? So this is the big temptation that you got to be able to overcome. But talent was never going to be the issue. It never is. I think the coaching is obviously much better than it has been over the last 2 decades, and now it's can Mike Elko get this team to win in November? And 2 of those games are on the road. I'll agree with you. The A&M got some breaks in the schedule, and especially with the open dates, you get a very emotional win against Notre Dame,
Yeah.
and then you get an open date to enjoy it, but not have a hangover, get over it. And then let me tell you, the big emotional win over LSU. A&M just only hates LSU just a little bit more, or a little bit less than they hate Texas, right?
Right.
But there's still a good amount of hate there.
And that's what makes you a true SEC team, because everybody hates LSU.
Well, everybody hates everybody in the SEC. I found, they'll do that whole SEC, and at the same time, they'll have a knife going SEC in your back.
Yes.
So everybody hates it, and it's beautiful. So yeah, they've gotten some breaks. I think though, as bad a season as has been at Auburn, do we not recognize that that's just a fabulous defensive team at Auburn?
Yeah.
And if they could just get if they had just a little bit of luck with officiating and maybe a couple of better play calls, they're right. By the way, I know we want to talk about A&M, but I got to ask you this: how are the people in Starkville coping? I keep looking at it, and I see Mississippi State is like 3 plays away from being 8-2.
I know. It's
Truthfully-
growing.
What are y'all
truthfully,
doing letting
They
Texas
should
off
be
the
a
hook
one-loss
like that?
team right now.
Huh?
They really should be a one-loss team right now. But that's another story. We'll cry about that another
Okay,
day.
we'll get back to the Aggies now.
I want to
Should have
talk
beat
to
the
you
Longhorns, though.
about this A&M team. What were or are some of the weaknesses for this team? And I'm going to tie this into it. The Joe Burrows last year at LSU, that LSU defense was not good until like the last 2 games of the regular season. And they got into playoffs, and they just got better and better and better each week in the playoffs. And that defense was so solid there in the postseason. We're talking about the SEC championship game into the playoffs. It just got – where is A&M? Where is this weakness? And is there hope that they're going to get better here to close out the season?
Well, I think one of the big issues with Texas A&M, especially defensively, is the tendency, and we've talked about this before. They'll win 9 plays in a row, but the 10th one might go 50 yards.
Yeah.
So the tendency to give up big plays, I think that I think I hate to say this, but I think that there are some. I don't know if I want to call them holes, but there's some soft spots in that secondary. So if you give a quarterback a lot of time, I think he can make and give him some talented receivers, some speedy guys. You could see some, you could create some problems for A&M. Fortunately, from the A&M perspective, the quarterbacks don't typically get a lot of time because A&M leads the nation. Well, for teams that have played 8 games, A&M leads the nation in sacks for teams that play 8 games. Some has played 9 games. I think Texas has 34 and leads the nation with 9 games, and A&M has 32 and 8 games, right? So the pass rush has been good. I don't think the secondary is bad. I just think that, like I said, there's a tendency to give up the big plays. I think, and then on the offensive side, I don't know if you've seen this. That sometimes they're unwarranted, but A&M typically will do things. I don't know if you saw the LSU game. They almost tried to give one away, right? They had two interceptions. One of them was a bad read by Marcel. One of them was a great play by Mansour Delane from LSU. It was one of them. Sometimes the other team just makes a great play, right? So one of that. But still, you had the block punt, and you had that second quarter for about 8 minutes where it was just pratfall after pratfall. And so those are the things you keep wondering, if they ever clean those things up, how good can this team really be? But you have to ask yourself, we're 8 games in. Are they going to clean it up? Or is this just something they have to overcome every week?
Yes.
Now, to your point about LSU, they kept getting better and better, and they cleaned up their issues, and then they were unbeatable.
Yeah.
And A&M would hope to follow that kind of, I don't want to call it a trend, that formula.
Mm-hmm. All right. So
real quick, before you get to your question, real quick. Hey, Olin, who's one or two players that really developed in the month of October for A&M? Who's someone that really took off and it's just gotten better and better each game?
I think you start with his linebacker, Damian Sanford.
Okay.
You look at his numbers. He was a backup, and he got thrust into the starting lineup after the Notre Dame. He had to go in at Notre Dame because Scooby Williams got hurt, and he comes in. Nice player. All of a sudden, you're like, who the heck is this? I mean, he's making play after play after play. So that's the first guy that comes to mind, especially on defense. Dayon Hayes is another guy. He's the defensive end opposite Cassius Howell, and he's not I'm not saying he's rushing the pass like Cassius, but he's been a guy that you have to be aware of and understand that he can make plays. And then offensively, I don't know if Reuben Owens stepped in after Le'Veon Moss got hurt, and he's done a good job. There's a freshman running back, Jamari Morrow. Watch that kid if you get number 23. If you get a chance, watch that kid. But I would say a guy that's really starting to emerge. He's not putting up huge numbers, but he's making a really big play a game, and is Ashton Bethel Roman. He's kind of like the number 3 receiver. You might have saw him against LSU. He made a one-handed catch reaching back on a crossing route for about a 50-yard gain, and then they threw an interception a couple plays later to waste it. And then he had a big play last week. So he's given A&M that third guy, that third option. Who was that third option for LSU that year? I can't think. It was a guy that ended up being a really good receiver for him. But you had Chase, you had Jefferson, and you had that third guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to look it up. I saw his name. I said, yeah, that's him. But anyway, maybe Ashton Bethel Roman is about to emerge as that guy. He doesn't have to be the guy that catches 6 or 7 a game, but he can give you a big play or two because you're so preoccupied with the other guys. And that's what he's done of late.
All right. So, Olin, you have covered Texas A&M for a while. Talk about the series between A&M and Missouri dating back to when both of y'all were in the Big 12, please.
Yeah, I mean, I can even go back when they were playing non-conference games. I remember A&M beating one like 70-3 one year back in '93, I think it was, maybe '94. But anyway, it's been I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it just strikes me that it's been a series of streaks that I can remember one year. I thought A&M was going to save R.C. Slocum's job because they had just beaten number 1 Oklahoma. This would have been in 2002, and then Missouri comes to town and beats them. Well, A&M made the worst mistake ever and ended up firing RC not long after that. they it would be like I think there was a time when Missouri beat them like 5 times in a row. Typically competitive games, but they now one time I remember A&M beating them when with Francione as the coach when this is the idea how the game how that series was. Missouri's about to score a touchdown that's gonna end it, or at least give them an insurmountable lead. And the guy's like at the 1 yard line going in, and guy who's A&M secondary coach, Jordan. I'm having a senior moment for some reason. I can't think of his name right now. Punches the ball out at the 1 yard line, and it goes out of the end zone. Missouri doesn't get that touchdown. A&M comes back and wins. I mean, that's how close this series has typically been. Missouri beat A&M in Johnny Manziel's last, I think it was his last regular season game, 28-21, if I'm not mistaken. I think the last time we're up in Columbia, Devon Achane, you've heard of him, had a really big game. He kind of compensated for Zach Calzada. You've heard of him, and they won that one pretty handily. But that team wasn't nearly as good as this Missouri team is. Now, last year, Missouri came in expecting to face Marcel Reed, and they got Connor Wigman. And Connor Wigman had the best game of the year, and A&M won that one. Like, what was it? 38 to 10. See, I'd have to go back and look, but I know they won it. Like, I know Missouri scored 10 because in the last 10 seconds, I think it was, they kicked a field goal to cover the spread.
Right.
And you know what? If that's why Drink kicked that field goal, I think that's genius. Make sure all the guys that bet on me got paid, and they'll have some money to contribute to NIL.
Yeah.
Genius.
So, Olin, when you look at the matchup this year as an A&M fan, what concerns you the most about this Missouri football team, even though they are on their third string quarterback with a ton of injuries right now?
Yeah, I would think that Missouri. I keep hearing because I haven't seen it because I don't watch them every week. I mean, I've seen them play. I watched the replay of the video of the Vanderbilt game. Defensive front, Zion Young, the McClellan kid. They got some good players up there, and I think they've been kind of hard to run on. I understand, and A&M is a team that's likes to run the football, and they can pressure the quarterback. So A&M has a really good offensive line. So what a great matchup that should be. And then Albert Hardy. I mean, this guy was, what is he, fourth in the nation in rushing yards? So I would think you're very concerned about what he can do, and you hope that you can slow him down. And then you want to put it, I would think, not having seen more of Zollers than I have, or Zollers, however it says it, that you want to put him in a position where he's got to win the game for him. And maybe he will. But I would still rather take my chances on maybe run blitzing early and things like that, and see if you can't get a true freshman quarterback making his first start into a lot of third and long situations, and see if they can block that pass rush or confuse him or whatever. I would think that's what you want to do. But so the things I'd be most concerned about is that Missouri defensive front and Ahmad Hardy.
Mm-hmm. Olin, every defensive coordinator is going to take advantage of a new quarterback coming into a game. But a true freshman, third string quarterback getting ready to start, are we going to see this A&M defense just pin their ears back, or are we going to see them toy with them and have a little fun with them, get a little style points with it? And what I mean by that, try to disguise some coverages, bait him into interceptions, things like that. Or is it just one of those things like, you know what, this is big kids beat up on little kids. We're just going to come after you, and you're going to smell our breath on you all day, brother?
Well, I don't think Missouri's little kids. I think that you try to confuse a quarterback, a freshman quarterback, if you can. But again, I think they're going to be very concerned about Hardy first, and then maybe jet sweeps and things like that. that you do to the things you do to try to put. Drinkwitz is a smart coach. I don't think they're going to ask Zollers to do anything that he can't do, and so I don't know that A&M is going to come in and just say, all right, we got this kid that's in over his head. Let's drown him. I think they're going to come in and probably do like they typically do, just play their standard defense, see what you're doing, and kind of react to it. If you'll notice, A&M often gives up points in the first drive or the first one or two drives. I mean, that's not Florida scored on their first two drives. LSU scored on their second one last week or last time they played. It's not that uncommon. And then Elko adjusts, and then they typically shut their opponent down, unless they have a runner like Taylor Green that makes the plays off schedule. But so I would think that they're probably going to take the approach that's been working for them. But what I know, for all I know, Elko's got about a dozen exotic blitzes that I've never seen before that he's ready to unveil, right? But if something's working for you, why quit? Why quit it?
Right.
What's Daryl Royal? Dance with who brung you?
That's right. Dance with the one who brung you.
That's the one. That's the one Longhorn we'll quote in a positive way around here. That's the one.
I won't ask you to speak for the team or the coaches, but I will ask you to speak for the fan base. Looking at the remainder of the schedule, at Missouri, South Carolina at home, Samford out of conference at home, and then Texas there on the road, there in Austin. What are the fans saying about the remainder of the schedule? What are the fans thinking, dreaming, hoping, playing out in their head, worst case, best case? What are you hearing from the fans?
I think there's a lot of confidence mixed with angst because, it's you look at what they've done, you say, yeah, I think this is really a really good team. I think this could be the best team in the SEC. I think, could this be a national championship caliber team? And then you're like, we've been here so many times before. You told us that you'd never abuse us again, and then you do. So it's a quiet confidence mixed with still some, what is Bruce Springsteen? He had that Born in the USA. He says, you end up like a dog that's been beat too much till you spend half your life just covering up. And that's what the Aggies are in November. They're like, I think I can trust you, but every time you raise your hand like you're going to pet me, I got to make sure that you're not going to smack me. So I still hear a lot of that, Yeah, man, this looks a great team. And that still got to win at Missouri, and still it's November. Been here. I mean, you'll hear people say, "Well, this is where we were, kind of the same situation last year," and then it just tails off. They don't have to say, same situation last year. And you know what? I think detractors of Texas A&M say the same thing.
Right. So, Olin, where do you feel like that A&M can take advantage of Missouri?
Yeah, I think. I know what happens in one game doesn't necessarily happen in the next, right? But if South Carolina's throwing for 300 yards on your defense, I think A&M can too.
Yes.
That A&M passing game is very explosive, and then with Marcel finally deciding that he'll scramble when the opportunity is there, that even opens up more opportunities because now you got to put a spy on him. And I just think A&M has a significant advantage in their receivers against the Missouri secondary. I got some Missouri numbers here, right quick. So Missouri, Kansas threw for 223. South Carolina 302. Mm-hmm. Now I know Alabama only threw for 200 on them, right? And Alabama has explosive receivers, no doubt about that. But so they've made some progress in South Carolina. I'll give them that. But I think that A&M passing game is really good, And then when you mix in the threat that Marcel has when he decides to tuck it and go, I think A&M will score. Now I'm saying, will they be in the 30s like they have been almost every game except for Auburn? Maybe, maybe not. But I think you can expect them to get into the high 20s. And would that be enough to beat Missouri?
Right.
I don't know.
So, Olin, let's go ahead and break it down. How do you see it playing out? The Aggies versus MIZ Saturday there in Columbia, Missouri. Are you going the Aggies or are you going Missouri?
Well, I always say I have to really judge it based on what I see from A&M.
Yeah.
And the last thing I saw from A&M was A&M just absolutely dominating the second half against LSU.
Right.
And suddenly people act like LSU's, a team that with no talent. That's not true. So I think A&M was going to win this game.
Right.
But I think it may be one of the more tightly contested one. I see A&M winning this one, something along the lines, and you're welcome to call me out right now and say, Olin, you're just crazy. But I see A&M wins this something along the lines of 27-17.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Olin, are you making the trip up to Columbia?
Well, hell yeah, we go to them all. So, in fact, I'm going to be flying up Friday into St. Louis.
Okay.
And make sure I get a Italian dinner at one of those restaurants on the hill. I think it's called
Oh
Risotto's.
yeah.
Yeah. Some of that
Yeah.
some of that toasted ravioli as an appetizer. And then we'll make that drive from, we're staying in something called St. Peter's, Missouri, which is about a half an hour from St. Louis. A lot of Saints in Missouri. And then we will drive on up to Columbia the next day.
Right.
My brother lives in Jefferson City. I don't know. I haven't decided whether I'm going to call him up and say, hey, you want to meet me there or not? But probably not. It's a business trip.
That's a lot of brotherly love there. Is there any place you're going to hit up to eat while you're in Columbia? Are you going to hit up Shakespeare's? Are you going to hit something while you're there? Or are you just going to get in, cover the game, get out and eat, go back to the hill and eat again?
No. I think the place that we went to the last time I was there was called Harpo's.
Okay.
I think, and it was like a burger joint with a typical college hangout, and that was fun. I remember we were watching Michigan and Ohio State, and Ohio State was supposed to win, and they were winning, but Michigan made a great run, and there were some Ohio State fans, so we kept. I say almost everybody in there. Every time Michigan would do something, we'd do the hell to the Conquerors or Conquering Heroes. And the Ohio State guys felt like they were in hell, and then Ohio State came back and won. So they were giving us double birds on the way out. So that was a fun time.
Big Stone Cold Steve Austin fans, huh?
What's that?
Big Stone Cold Steve Austin fans.
Yeah.
Double bird salute there.
I suspect we will probably just eat in the press box for lunch. It's a 2:30 game. Get done, and probably, I don't know. Maybe I need to ask people where the place to go on a Saturday night in Columbia is. But maybe you said Shakespeare's.
Yeah, the pizza place called Shakespeare's. That's everyone rants and raves about.
Okay, I might have to try find that, or I may just find my way to a casino. Maybe I can stop at a buffet and then play a few hands.
Yes.
And count the Texas license plates there probably won't be as many since it's not a bordering state, but
right.
Those derelict, degenerate Texas gamblers, they'll go anywhere.
I had to tell a family member this ages ago. I've told friends this as well. Those casinos don't stay in business by giving out money.
That's why they should have them in Texas.
Man, Olin, this has been an absolute blast. And now that we are back on social media full time, please leave us with your catchphrase that begins with A&M.
It's not a catchphrase, Stingray. It's just the truth. Do you love America?
We love America.
You love America. Well, just always remember America starts with A&M.
Amen. And so does Amen.
Yes, it does.
Olin, I'm going to make sure that you become famous for saying that. That's why I do that.
I'm surprised A&M hadn't marketed it themselves.
So, I
Well,
was supposed to say,
Olin, get
Margo,
on that, man. Get
trademark
on
that.
that.
Let's start making money off that. Don't send anybody to Olin. He's getting money from Hollywood.
Yes, Olin, look,
$11.
hey, enjoy your trip to St. Louis and then over to Columbia. Hopefully, the Aggies can start off November on a positive note, and
With a
we
W.
yep, and
We'll
we
be
will.
calling it Wovember. Starting
Yes.
November with a W.
So we will catch up with you next week, my friend. Gig 'em.
All right. Thanks, guys. Had a good time.
See you,
Thank
Olin.
you. All right, so Heath, I really do want to thank Olin Buchanan and Brendan from the Mazodcast for joining us. And Heath, I do want to ask you to comment on a comment that we actually had during that interview right there. This is a friend of mine who is also a big time Mississippi State booster, and he has attended over 400 games. I want to get your take on his thoughts, okay?
All right. Let's see. Well, you could say it any way you want to, John. I mean, let's face it. If in the Tennessee game, if Blake Shapen sees the receiver sitting in front of the end zone, there's a touchdown right there. That's a win. The Florida game, I mean, you're basically one play away. That's a win. I mean, if you break it down like this, any of these games could be losses.
Right.
I mean, you could sit there and like, what if we fumbled the opening kickoff? And what if we did this? You know, it could go either way. And I would like to sit down with John because I haven't counted, but I might be over 400 games.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen a ton of football games, and a lot of them were not good. So, but
John is a super nice guy, man. You would really like him.
I'd love to sit down with John and just reminisce and have some fun and have a few laughs. Yeah, you could easily. The only game the States got blown out of was the A&M game, and I still think A&M's the best team in the conference. That's another thing, Stephen. There's so many teams in the SEC that are winning, but they're not winning by large margins, and they still struggle with some of the worst teams, the not so good teams in the SEC. And I understand you have bad games. I understand that every team has bad games. Every team comes out flat every now and again. I get that. But, look at Ole Miss. They did not look good against LSU. They didn't look great against South Carolina early. They still won both those games. But that's kind of what I'm talking about. Georgia, they haven't looked good in all their games.
Right.
Tennessee hasn't looked good in all their games. Oklahoma definitely hasn't looked good in all their games. A lot of people say that they should not have gotten the win against Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
And if that was the case, Hugh Freeze is probably not fired right now.
Yeah.
So, there's so many moving parts. I have never seen this many moving parts in the SEC this year because I think there's still a lot of pretenders at the top of the conference standings who are not good teams.
No.
And even if they do make the playoff, we'll get highly embarrassed, and we'll have to hear it from the media. Oh, the SEC is a joke. They get all these teams in the playoff, and none of them are any good except for, and they'll name one or two teams.
Yes.
We've seen Bama lay an egg this year. We also see Bama just dominate people. There's so many question marks right now in the SEC. And, man, I tell you what, Stephen, there's a lot of question marks at the very top of the SEC standings. Those top 5, 6, 7 teams, a lot of pretenders in there. I'm just saying it.
All right. And then John followed it up with this comment, and I really do appreciate it.
Oh, well, thank you,
Yes. So thank you for that. And
we'll catch up with John here shortly.
And if you guys would like to comment and give us your thoughts on the show and what you would like or dislike about the show, feel free to let us know right there in the comments. And of course, we will pop them up as well. So, Heath, when we come back tomorrow on the Stingray Show, we are going to be turning our attention to what potentially could be a really good game this weekend. And I cannot believe I'm saying that, but Florida versus Kentucky.
I can't wait to watch that game.
Yes.
Cannot wait to watch that game. I think that's going to be a funny. So much talent on that Florida team. And, they're going to do some different play calling. They're going to do some new wrinkles. It's mostly going to be the same, but there's going to be some new wrinkles. Can't wait to see that because, Stoops does the same thing every single time. He tries to make it a rock fight. He tries to make it ugly and dirty. And if you start playing his game, he will beat you. It's kind of like the old Mark Twain quote, don't argue with an idiot because they will drag you down to their level and you will lose. And that's what Stoops does. He drags you down to his level and he has his way with you. And that's all you can do and walk away with the loss.
And Auburn got that firsthand last week by giving up 7 sacks to Kentucky's defense.
I mean, look at Lane Kiffin last year. They had a great team. And Stoops did that to Ole Miss.
Yep.
Drug them down to their level and just beat them. And then what did Ole Miss do later in the season? They beat Georgia. I mean, I'm telling you, last year was crazy. This year is just insane crazy. So, hey, for all you guys still with us, hang out. We're going to have some interaction after the show. We're going to be talking about some fun horror movie stuff.
Yes.
So after we wrap up here in just a moment, stick around. We'll interact with you. Ask any question you want. We'll still answer some SEC questions. And we're going to talk a little horror movies as well.
All right, so Heath, at this time, we've got to pay the bills. So I'm going to run 2 ads, and then we will come back and do our interaction with our fans.
All right.
Dude, we got to love to pay the bills, right?
Not really. No one likes paying bills, man. Just pay them. See what happens.
We all enjoy the changing of the seasons. Fall is a special time to be thankful for our families and many blessings. It is also a great time, though, to review your insurance coverages. Alpha Insurance and hometown agent Jeff Nee can help you personalize your insurance needs. The more you protect, the more you save. With helpful customer service teams right here to serve you in Alabama and over in Mississippi, you can count on Alpha to provide the insurance plan that provides the protection that you need. For all your auto, home, life, and business insurance needs, call Alpha agent Jeff Nee or drop by his office at 202 McFarland Boulevard East, Suite 101 in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And remember, with Jeff Nee, the more you protect, the more you save. I am representing a clothing company right here in Tuscaloosa that is called J&J Apparel. If you like the Mississippi State shirt that I have on, you can find all of their Mississippi State apparel as well as Auburn, Alabama, and Ole Miss at jnjapparel.com. They are located right here in Tuscaloosa, but they also have other merchandise for other SEC schools as well. So once again, if you do like this polo that I've got on and the Walking Bulldog, go to jnjapparel.com and get all of your SEC merch right there for Ole Miss, Alabama, Auburn, and Mississippi State with J&J Apparel. And Heath, speaking of J&J, some of those shirts right there do look pretty amazing.
I was noticing your beard in that. Your
Yes.
beard was really looking good in that.
I appreciate that, man. All right, so now we are what we like to call in the post show. So, Heath, go ahead and let everybody know what we are going to do moving forward after our show.
We're just going to have one random question, and we're going to mix it in with the SEC stuff too. So if you got questions about the A&M game or the Missouri game or any game happening this weekend, feel free to ask us. We'll give you our thoughts, but we're also wanting a little fan interaction. What is a horror movie that you watch every year or that you wanted to watch and you didn't get to here before Halloween? You know, for my son, my oldest son, I got two boys, two girls. My oldest son, he kind of got to horror movies, so I'm kind of very, I don't say overprotective, but I don't want him to watch all the filth that the horror movies that we grew up with in the 80s and 90s, just with random nudity and everything else. Like keeping him away from that. So we were watching the Scream movies because those are pretty much clean. They're a little bit gory, but I'm okay with the gore. And so we were watching those, and we got up to the last one, and we didn't get to watch it. So we just had too much going on. There's too many things happening. I got too many kids.
Right.
So I want to say the last one is Scream 6. We didn't get to see that one, but they dropped the trailer for Scream 7 last week, Steven.
I know.
It's going out in February. So I was like, well, we got till February to watch it. And so I was like, maybe we hold off until like after Christmas and we watch it so we can get ready for Scream 7. So, Steven, how many of the Scream movies have you seen?
Just the first one.
Just what?
Just the first one.
Wow. That third one is garbage, by the way. The other movies, they have their moments, and some of them are good. But, yeah. Wow, you've only seen one. Why have you seen the others, man?
I just haven't had time, man. I got a show to do. What you talking about?
Do you dislike David Arquette that much? I mean, everyone loves Deputy Dewey, man.
Yeah.
So,
All
what
right.
about you, Steven? What was a horror movie that you wanted to see this Halloween season, just never got around to watching it?
A Quiet Place 2.
Okay.
And, of course, A Quiet Place, the new one that came out last year. And I've still not seen The Meg 2. I have not seen that yet.
I have started The Meg like half a dozen times, and I fall asleep in the first couple of minutes. Like, I still want to see that movie. I want to see the second one. And I just keep falling asleep. And then when it's time, to watch a movie, like the kids or my wife's like, oh, let's watch this instead. I'm like, okay. So I may not ever get to see The Meg. I'm not hating on The Meg. I want to see it, but I may not ever get to.
The first one's pretty good. I will say that. The first one's pretty good.
Steven, what's your favorite Halloween series? Or let me rephrase that, horror series. Mine's Halloween. I love the Halloween movies, but I never saw the third one. I never saw Halloween 3, and I do want to watch it, only because Michael Myers is not in Halloween 3. I mean, that's like going to the Superman movie and Superman's not in it. Like, what's the point?
Right. I am going to date myself here, but there were 3 movies in this series. I'm going to go back to the 90s, and I believe 90s and into the 2000s, the Mummy series. There was The Mummy Returns, and I don't remember what The Mummy 3 was called. But those 3 movies were action-packed. They were awesome. And I think, if memory serves me correctly, Brendan Fraser played in all 3 of those.
The third one was Scorpion King, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah, there you go. It's funny. I never saw any of those movies, and I remember that. And I'm not hating on that. I want to see those movies. We took the family to Universal for fall break here like a month ago, and rode the Mummy ride. And yeah, I still haven't seen the movie.
Dude,
I've been on the ride. I still haven't seen the movie.
It's phenomenal. You've got to see those 3. But I will tell you, I did hear reviews about the newest Mummy remake that Disney did back, I think it was 2016. It was not very good.
Really?
Yeah, I think that one had Tom Cruise in it, and that one was not good.
Wow. Hey, I'm going to throw out some games this weekend.
Okay.
And just you don't have to give me a win or anything. Just tell me what you're looking forward to. And if it's nothing, just say it's nothing. Bama LSU.
How does LSU look after the canning of Brian Kelly? And number two, the issue that has plagued Alabama all season, stopping the run game of their opponents. Have they gotten that fixed, or is that still a leaky issue? Because that could come back to bite them in the SEC championship game and/or the playoffs.
With LSU, I'm just mainly looking to see if they just fold up and like, all right, whatever. We're just trying to survive the rest of the season so we can move on. That's the only thing I'm looking for. Is there any fight in LSU, or are they just like, yeah, we're out of here?
Well,
Like,
you didn't see that last week with Florida. I mean, they played Georgia right down to the wire.
yeah,
So I think LSU is going to do the same thing.
okay, okay. What about Vanderbilt and Auburn?
Vanderbilt can, after a loss like that, and let's just be honest, for the majority of that game, they were manhandled by Texas, and then Texas put their foot off the gas and let them back in. How did they respond at home? Because I will be honest with you, Vanderbilt is a much different team at home. They are with the Commodore fans around them than they are on the road. I'm interested to see how Diego Pavia responds after his performance last week.
See, I see it a tad bit different last week. I think Vanderbilt just came out flat. I don't know if it's butterflies, if they came out flat, if whatever it was. And then finally, when they started hitting, pace and started making things happen, I was like, okay, this is the Vandy we know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't necessarily think it was Texas. I think Texas played its best game to start off with.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Texas hasn't started really any game hot. And that was it.
Except
And that's
last
another
week.
thing we'll have to look forward to for the rest of the season. Is this the Texas team that we thought was going to be Texas all year?
Right.
Or, was that just a flash in the pan? What about Kentucky and Florida?
Can Kentucky build on the success of the Auburn win with a limping, yes, I said limping, Florida team coming in after having their hearts ripped out against their rival Georgia? Does the Georgia game beat Florida twice, especially since it is on the road there in the Commonwealth state of Kentucky?
I'm wondering, can they break will the winner win this game in single digits? Like I say no, but we saw Mississippi State beat Arkansas 2 years ago 7-3. We saw Auburn beat Mississippi State 3-2 many moons ago.
Yeah.
But is this going to be like a 10-6 game? Like,
Mhm.
they're up 10-0, and there's going to be like a pick six, and then they're going to go for it late in the game. They ended up kicking a field goal. And I was like, hey, we won 10-6 tonight. I expect this game to be just super ugly.
Yeah.
Just super ugly. But I will say, Cutter Boley, the true freshman quarterback at Kentucky, he showed a lot last week.
Yes.
He showed a lot. So maybe he's now kind of figured it out and trying to make things happen. So I don't know. State and Georgia.
How many times are the SEC refs going to protect Georgia? And that's all I'm going to say, because I'm telling you, man, they're going to protect they are going to protect their investment of Georgia this weekend. I just don't see it any other way. I think Mississippi State has the potential on the field with the talent to keep it close. I just don't think the SEC refs are going to allow it.
Wow.
I've seen this Groundhog Day too many times, man. I just, like last week with the Florida game, that was a catch. That was a catch for Florida every day of the week and all day, every day. And the SEC office wanted to protect their investment of Georgia, and that's all I'm going to say. So, yes, Mississippi State can win. Will they? Probably not.
I will throw this out, Stephen. I had an older gentleman. I will not reveal names. I will not share my source. Worked at a SEC school, shared with me many moons ago the SEC championship of 1998
Yep.
Tennessee and Mississippi State. Now, Tennessee went on to beat Florida State in the national championship game.
Yes.
Tennessee's national champions, blah, blah, blah. It was the first of the BCS era, all that kind of fun stuff. And this gentleman who worked at an SEC school, this was many years later. It wasn't like right after the game or the week of or anything like that. This was probably 4 or 5 years later after that game. And I'm a young media reporter straight out of college. And he mentioned, we were talking about revenue sharing in the SEC and the bowl payouts and this and that. And he goes,
I know where this is going.
He said, Mississippi State lost that SEC championship game to Tennessee, but they got paid more money for the loss. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he said, if Tennessee lost that game, they wouldn't have had the chance to play for the national title, and they'd have gone to this bowl game. And although Mississippi State would have been bumped up in bowl games, all this stuff happened behind it. And he said, with Mississippi State losing, it protected everybody else in the conference, and everybody in the conference benefited from it financially, including Mississippi State. And I saw where he was going with that, and I understood what he was saying. But I subscribe to the thing as a chain is only strong as its weakest link.
Correct.
And, why do you want to steal something that someone has earned?
Yep.
And so if you ever go back and watch that game, just go watch the fourth quarter. You don't have to watch the entire game. Just go back and watch the fourth quarter. And Jackie Sherrill has famously said it over and over and over, the holding calls that happened there after Mississippi State took the lead on a punt return there in the fourth quarter. Mississippi State got the ball back pretty quick, and all of a sudden all these magical holding calls were being called over and over and over and over.
And you didn't,
And
it's
Sherrill
like,
was going to
where
the
is
official.
it?
Yeah.
It's like, where is it? Where's the hold? Where's the hold?
Sherrill was going to the officials like, tell me who's holding so I can get them out of the game. And they would never answer his question. And they kept throwing holding calls until Mississippi State had to punt that ball back. And then all of a sudden there were some penalties against Mississippi State, defensive holding here and pass interference there, and made sure Tennessee got out there. And then late in the game, State turned the ball over. Tennessee was able to capitalize. And that's how it is. But everybody in the SEC, the business people of the SEC were like, that was the best thing for everybody in the conference. And back then there was 12 schools. That helped 11 of the 12 schools, and truthfully, it helped all 12 schools financially. But what's the point of playing the game if you're going to screw them and rob them? Like, what's the point of it?
Amen to that.
What's the point of fans paying the money and spending money to travel and eat and stay in a hotel and do all that if you're just going to screw them and not be honest with them?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point? What's the point of playing this game Saturday if you're just going to screw them?
Yes.
I don't know if that's going to necessarily happen, but Sylvester Groom talked about it. He said you got to play close to a near perfect game, and they'll let you have it. But he said you will have to fight officials sooner or later. And I think he got in trouble for saying that. But you know what? Honesty hurts. The truth hurts.
Bobby Petrino got a flag for fighting one last week up there on the hill at Arkansas, and Arkansas fans absolutely loved it.
They're always going to cheer for their coach. Bobby Petrino, I called him a bum on the show yesterday.
Yes.
Hey, feel free to go look at the podcast, listen to the podcast on that one. Bobby Petrino, in my opinion, is a bum. Is he a good football coach? He's an excellent football coach. Is he the best head coaching material now? No, nowhere close. The game is passing by. He's not a good head. Nobody in the country is even considering or having him on a short list to be a head coach at their university. Nobody. But yet Arkansas thinks that he still got it. He can bring the magic back. No, he can't. It is done. Just let it go. So with that, Bobby Petrino, you're still a bum, but he deserved that flag. He got it. So be it. But you know what? We talked about it many times. We'll save it for tomorrow's show. We'll talk about conference officials, and everybody can weigh in about conference officials on tomorrow's show.
Heath, I just looked at the time. We have gone an hour and 50 minutes. So I do think we need to wrap up this show. We have had a blast talking with all of you guys right here on social media. But I think right before a 2 hour show, I think that's enough talking for today. I really do want to thank Justin Prince for sending this in, and as well as John Stringer earlier, who also said right after he said that thing about what you talked about, great show and good show. I really do want to thank all of you guys for commenting right here on the Stingray Show and for staying here with us for the 2 hours. Hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed the Missouri and Texas A&M preview show, and we will be right back here again tomorrow morning at 8:15 with a preview of Florida and Kentucky as Graham Hall of 247 Sports to Gators and Nick Roush, Kentucky Sports Radio, join us right here on the Stingray Show. Heath, we will see you then, and thank you guys for watching this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and we will do it all again tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.
Steven, I got too much work to do. I can't do this. I got to roll, brother.
All right, man. Thank you. Have a great day, and we will catch you tomorrow.
Thanks for everyone watching. We'll catch you tomorrow. If you get any ideas, send them to us.
Hey, I will leave you with this. Sayonara. See you tomorrow.
You're stealing my lines now.